All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening in. The whole idea here is to try to provide insight into how to run your accounting firm more effectively, efficiently. And in today's talk, co-hosting with Sean Parrott, is how to, kind of implement this subscription-based pricing into your firm, right? It's utilized heavily in SaaS businesses, technology, but what's the relationship with accounting? So,
Well,
Sean, let's talk about it.
thank you, Chris. Thank you for getting this video. Well, whenever you read or probably think about subscription-based pricing, what you think is SaaS as a business model or tech business. Well, that's pretty obvious because subscription-based pricing is at the core of any SaaS company. And the best examples out there are Microsoft and QuickBooks, wherein those were desktop-based product, but once they migrated to cloud, they transitioned to monthly pricing. So they were charging like one-time licensing fees, and now they are
Right.
making of the same products every month. I mean, I know accountants don't like that, but that's the reality. And the
Mhm.
two rules behind implementing subscription-based pricing, which has evolved in last decade or so, is the first one being customer is here to stay. So your customer is not going anywhere, and the services that are required are recurring. So whether you need them every week, every day, every month, every quarter, it's not like you will need these services after 5 years. The services, and the best example of subscription based pricing would be a gym membership from an old economy, or an insurance for that matter. You need that every year. Um, you just don't need to pay that once. So that's kind of, the services are recurring, and customer is here to stay. So in case of accounting firms, this two test stands true. The customer on an average in an accounting firm stay for 6 to 7 years, and the needs for services, whether taxes, planning, consulting, advisory, accounting, attestation,
Yeah.
financial statement, everything is recurring. So these two kind of tells you clearly that subscription-based pricing is something that can be implemented in accounting firm, if not fully, definitely partially.
So let's talk a little bit about the current business model, right? And how what's changing this over to a new business model for firms.
Definitely business models have evolved in accounting firm. But if we kind of summarize this, there were three pillars of business models, or accounting firms old business model. The one was talent sharing, where instead of businesses hiring them, they share talent, whether it was CFO or other accounting back office staff member. The other, pillar was transaction support, and the third pillar was technical expertise. So your understanding of taxes, attestation, accounting, etc. So, so this were the three, T or the three pillars. The fourth pillar, which was added in last decade, was technology. So
Mm.
technology is no more an enabler, wherein it helps you kind of filing your taxes. Technology is at the center of accounting firms' best, delivery of services or client interaction. So whether it is managing workflow or document exchange or meetings, or delivering documents, everything is today kind of done through technology. So it's at the core. So technology is also a main reason or driving force behind subscription based pricing. So, Chris, you and me know that, 3, 4 years, 5 years back, we often heard from our clients that, I'm not doing bookkeeping anymore. I'm just pushing it back to clients. It's not profitable anymore. I'm not able to find people doing that. And eventually what they gave the feedback was, I'm performing taxes or tax planning or attestation for the same clients, and when I receive those books back, they're completely mess. So anyway, I
Yeah.
have to redo it. So what they eventually did was bundling up transaction services with compliance services, and again adding consulting and advisory to that. So they bundling up those services. So technology really helped them. They automate compliance a bit. They automate transactional services a bit. So this they were able to kind of bundle it up, and still provide services in a profitable way. So that's the new business model, according to me.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. Like bringing in technology is a close relationship now with accounting firms today. Now, there's got to be some benefits to this. So, if accounting firms looking at it, what are some benefits as far as implementing this?
So subscription-based pricing has host of benefits when you implement that. However, one of the most important benefits is it removes ambiguity. Um, client sometimes comes to you, they are seeking your advice, and they don't know that advice would take 10 minutes or that advice would take 10 hours. And often, firm that charge by hour, uh, they often wind up reacting to client issues rather than proactively addressing their needs. So
Mhm.
subscription based pricing is pricing for clarity. you know
Okay.
it it actually boxes your services and actually make sure that higher level of services are priced at for their value.
Okay.
Secondly, it automates billing, so that's an obvious benefit with technology coming in. The collection and billing and invoicing has been automated, so there is no big science there. uh, you if you know the differentiate how to differentiate services, it can really add value. So as we see silver, bronze, silver, gold, and platinum models, or level A, B, C, D models,
Hmm.
if you are able to differentiate those levels, what happens is basically the higher level services are differentiated from the mid level services, and the mid level services are differentiated from the basic level services. So if
Okay.
client comes in and requires higher level services, you know what's the price for that. It's already
Hmm.
there on your website, or it's already there in the engagement that you have provided. So client knows that if I want this value, this is going to be the price for it.
Hmm.
And and eventually you are able to attract high ticket engagements. I was watching a video of one of our clients, Summit CPA, Jody, the
Hmm.
CEO of Summit CPA, and he says, and he has implemented subscription based pricing in their firm. Their average client engagement is worth $68,000,
Yep.
and it ranges from 30K to about 20K, 200K. But it's commendable how they have implemented. They charge every client by week, so it's a weekly pricing. So it is like they are part of client cash flow. There are no contracts. So if client scales down the business, or doesn't want the services, they're free to go. So it's very easy to attract high ticket clients and deliver the value that you're looking for. Obviously, offshoring has an important role to play in that. uh, Apart from that, we have learned that if you're able to productize your services solution for mass and then personalize it, you can scale really, really rapidly.
Hmm.
To an extent, it actually applies to subscription based pricing in accounting firms. On the front end, it really productizes your services into A, B, C, D plus categories. So it's easy for client to select and opt in, and it's really, really transparent pricing. So it's easy on the front end. On the back end, it's really easy to execute. So you don't have staffing surprises. You know that 10 clients are signing up next month, 5 clients are signing up. You know how many people or how much of hours you need to execute. Deliverables are pre-specified to large extent. So your team knows that if client is under subscription level 3 or level C, they are supposed to get this many things every week, this many things every month, this many things every quarter. So that's again a easy thing to execute. And lastly, it's easy to budget for client. I told you, Jody bills client every week.
Yeah.
So instead of charging every, but one fat fee at the end of a quarter or at the end of the 6 months, or a year, you're
Yeah.
part of the cash flow of the firm. So it's easy for them to budget, and easy to manage cash flows for the clients.
Yeah. Yeah, wow, there's a lot of benefits in doing this, especially with, you don't necessarily do it week to week, but month to month for sure. I mean, this is, and rather than chasing down that huge sum of payment at the end of the year. I agree, but all right, sounds good. But how do we go about implementing this within the firm? Where do we start?
Well, the first step would be pricing for profitability and value. So we have often heard from clients that they implemented subscription based pricing in their firm, and what has happened is they price it too low. They price
Yeah,
it if they price it at $400, $600, and $700, and they eventually gave up everything for almost nothing. So your
yep,
margin kind of shrinks or decreases. So that's where you need to price it for value and profitability. So that's very, very important. And implement the test while you do that. Reach out to your 5 or 10 close clients whom you think that are going to remain with you no matter what, and see what their reaction is, and then perfect that model. um,
okay,
then design 3 or 4 service levels. So we talked about it, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, or whatever you want to name it. But eventually, you want to give basic services to clients that need basic services, and some of the services would be more complex. So you want to charge higher, and you want their client to be under premium category instead of
hmm,
basic category. So you don't want you end up charging for basic and delivering for the premium client. So right scientific creating service levels is important. When you transition to subscription based pricing, make sure you transition it slowly, communicate with client in advance, and explain the rationale. There would be some client objection, some resistance. We don't
yep,
tell you to leave any client. No, never do that.
right.
Find out the midway to solve their challenges. Eventually, over a period of time, they'll transition to your pricing. So don't worry about if they're not accepting it now. Probably in 6 months or a year, when they see the value coming your way, they'll transition to what you to your subscription based pricing.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Pilot it with your existing client base and see how everything goes. Work out the nuances, and then onboarding new clients be very easy because you know what they each party will know what to expect from each other. And so now offshoring, I'm sure this can help in many different ways in implementing this. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, offshoring in general is important for accounting firms. We have to say that, right?
Yeah,
But
there's many
but
benefits.
yeah, compliance work anyway needs to be done
Yep.
your offshore team, so that your core team, your onshore team can focus. But especially with subscription based pricing, well, offshoring eventually helps you expand your margins in long term. That's where you can price your services effectively and still protect your margins. So if you have integrated offshoring in your firm, it will help you in transitioning to subscription based pricing very, very easily and effectively. Just because you have margins, you can really price it effectively and still protect your margins. So that is one of the big benefits.
Hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. And to sum up everything, the idea here with subscription base and accounting firms goes hand in hand. There's a close relationship with technology, and as far as the benefits. I mean, I can't think of anything that would be negative as far as implementing this. And then the right approach and utilizing offshore and complementing the onshore team. This is no brainer. This is a really good insight to move over to this model.
Absolutely.
Any other final thoughts?
Well, no, Chris, I think thank you to you for hosting this. And we are jointly doing this video. I think we should continue doing this every week.
Sure.
Those who are watching this video, feel free to put your comments in the
Yeah.
YouTube channel and subscribe to it. And we'll put forward some relevant links and content to this video in the comment section. And do let us know if you are looking for something specific. We create content specific to accounting firms and helping them with their practices, their technology needs, their remote working needs, their pricing, their expanding their margins, offshoring, all those non-technical topics is where me and Chris kind of discuss and try to come up with something. So I hope you were able to find some value in it. And yeah, that's
For
it.
sure. Accounting all day, every day. Well, thanks everybody listening in. We'll be back soon. Help you guys out in the future. Take care for
Thank
now.
you. Bye-bye.